Hello everyone, my name is PJ, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Final Fantasy I, the ROM hack Final Facelift, Part 5. I guess I can't use my hands anymore to show you the number of the parts anymore after this one, huh? So, I did all the level grinding that I said I would. The money farming took about 3 hours, and best of all, I only gained 2 levels for everyone, so they're not super over leveled. I was worried that everyone would be like level 10 by the time I was done. If you see that I have a low amount of money, it's just because I spent it all. I got a lot of stuff. So, I didn't get any more spells for Chroma. He didn't really need any. But BOLT2 is so useful. So unbelievably useful. It destroys like entire groups of enemies. And I got 3 casts of it. And I bought a couple of cabins too. So for this next journey that we're going to be going on, which is going to be a doozy by the way, it's the first real dungeon of the game. Yeah, so we'll be using cabins to restore everyone's spell slots before and after the dungeon. Sherma, I got her Heal, Cure 2, and Harm 2. Harm 2 will be useful because the dungeon we're going to has lots of undead. So, although I'm wondering if I should, not use Harm 2 in favor of casting Heal and Cure 2. I don't know. It's a juggle, and you gotta deal with it. I got new weapons for everyone except Sherma. So Chroma got a weapon upgrade. Zashindoon, I wasn't able to get the silver swords for Zashindoon because those, as well as the level 4 spells, are all like 4,000 gil. And then that's a bit more than I want to get at the moment. I don't want to get too many levels for money farming. But I did upgrade everyone's armor. Everyone's armor is completely upgraded. I got 1 copper armlet for Chroma. They're only 1,000 gil, but I don't want to get another one because we're actually going to be getting one for free in the next dungeon. So I rearranged the party order just a little bit to balance Chroma and Sherma's defenses and evasions. So, now that you know everything that I've been doing, it is time for us to move on to the first real dungeon. And we're off to a great start. Ambushed already, and we're not even halfway there. Okay, give me a minute. BOLT2, motherfucker! You're dead, and you're dead, and you're dead, and you're dead. I love that spell. I can't wait until I can cast it for free. Yeah, so here is the Western Keep. You can get here if you just travel south from Mount Duergar or northwest from Elfheim. This is the castle, that spooky castle that one elf in town told us about. Now, in this version, this Western Keep place uses the same music as Castle Cornelia, but in the remakes, it uses a somber, mellow, sad kind of rendition of it, which is one of the only new songs in the remakes. I really like it though. Now, this bat is not the same as the bats we met in the Chaos Shrine. That one is a normal bat, not important. And we come in here and we find a green-haired, purple-robed king, just all by himself in a ruined, abandoned castle. No one else is here but him. Ostos double-crossed us. Go south to the Cave of Marsh to retrieve the crown, then bring it directly back to me. Oh good. Just when I started getting used to the wargs, they throw a stronger wolf at me. The werewolf. Isn't that great? Let's see how he likes BOLT2. Aw, he didn't get electric death this time. But it's good to know that they're not that much tougher than wargs. You're dead. And you're dead. And you're dead. And you're dead. And you're dead. You're all dead. And no one will mourn you. More werewolves. Okay. I'm almost at the cave, and I'm going to use a cabin, so I have no reason not to use my last BOLT2. I could have gotten here pretty easily without using any BOLT2s, but I was gonna use a cabin anyway, so why not? Oh, and here we are. The entrance to the Marsh Cave, otherwise known as the Underdark. Full of zombies and mind flayers and oozes, you know the one. So, cabin. HP recovered. Save? Yes. Now saving. If you don't save, the bug happens that causes you not to regain your spell slots. Wait, what? Goddamn fucking Final Fantasy Wiki constantly lying to me. Wait, do I have to reset? Give me a minute. Nope, doesn't work. Which means that all of my BOLT2s are gone. Why must you lie to me, Final Fantasy Wiki? But whatever. The Marsh Cave looks a lot more man-made than it should. Okay, I don't remember it looking like this in the original. Anyway, you start the cave and there's immediately two paths you can go, north and south. South is the correct way, that'll get us to our destination, but north, there's items. So, we're gonna go north first. I'm actually going to make a couple of different trips. Chroma's blinded. I'm assuming that's what that icon means. Okay, I think shadows... Oh, these enemies have a new sprite. These are from 3. Normally, they just kind of look like a robed person, holding their cloaks over their mouths, being all sneaky like. Anyway, I have no magic anymore. That's okay, I'm not gonna stay here for long. Does harm work on these guys? Yes. But I should save it for much larger groups. Undead like to come in large groups. So, we're just gonna go north, get the items that are down there, get out of my way, bet. And then we'll go back to town and rest up and demand a refund from the item salesman. God, I wish I could do that. Anyway, zombies, ghouls, zombies, harm. This is my first time running into either enemy. Oh dear, they can paralyze. I'm assuming that's just the ghouls, because in D&D, that's what ghouls do. They paralyze enemies with their touch, except elves. Elves are immune. And there's a lot of reasons for it, but you can't play as an elf in this game. My goddamn paralysis. And my harm. Cast harm. There you go. There you go. There you go. Good go. And Zash is level 9. Dune is level 9. Now stun doesn't last after combat. Some status effects do, like, well, apparently blind it doesn't. Petrification, KO, poison, they all last after combat. Sherma's blind. Okay, these enemies aren't that tough, so I'm just gonna kill them normally. I'm not gonna waste any of my spell slots. I still have another whole room to search. It can be tempting to use all of your most powerful resources right away, but when you're dungeon crawling, that's a super awful idea. Because when you're on the world map, it's fine, because you can usually just walk to the nearest town. There's usually always one within walking distance. When you're in dungeons though, really, a large knife? I just bought one. Oh well, they weren't that expensive. When you're in dungeons though, it can be a long trek out of the dungeon if you start running low on supplies. So, gotta be careful. Save all of your best stuff for when things start getting hairy. Okay, Sherman's gonna need to heal herself. Hopefully she doesn't die right away. There we go. Fighters are so goddamn strong. You can see how feasible it is to do an all-fighter run in this game. I mean, they're doing like 50 damage to the white mage and 2 damage to the fighter. It's ridiculous. Anyway, outside of battle, use cure potions to heal, because your spell slots are precious. And cure potions only cost 60 gil. 680 gil, look at that. I just bought me 11 cure potions. See? Money quickly becomes a non-issue, but we're not at the point where it's a non-issue yet. Skeletons? I think these sprites are from 3. I don't think these are the same sprites FF1 uses, but they do look familiar. Wait, no. Sherma one-shot the skeleton? Chroma did too. Oh wow, these skeletons are fucking weak. I was not expecting them to be that weak. What? Okay, the emulator froze for a second. Anyway, short sword. And 620 gil. Short sword doesn't do me any good since I already bought the sabers. Eventually you won't have to buy as much equipment. You'll find a lot of the best stuff in towns. Okay, these things are definitely using sprites from a later game, because the original slimes looked like D&D slimes. They looked just like oozes, without eyes or faces. The thing about green slimes is that they're highly resistant to melee damage. You're supposed to use magic to kill them. And I'm all out of spell slots for BOLT2. So, we're gonna run. These things are incredibly weak otherwise. The only thing they got going for them is their poison, obviously. There we go. That was easy, wasn't it? And their high defenses. Easy. Of course, I have to rearrange the party. June and Zash are basically clones of one another, so it doesn't matter what order they go in the party. Okay. I'm not going to be able to handle the next part of the dungeon without my BOLT2 slots, so I'm going to hightail it out of here, go back to Elfheim, and when I'm done, I'll catch you again. Okay, we're finally back in town. That took a lot longer than I hoped it would, but that's the nature of this first dungeon. This first dungeon is meant to really toughen you up and to really give you the feeling of what it's like to travel for miles to infiltrate an extremely dangerous and hostile location and make the trek back once you've been beaten the shit out of. Beaten the hell up. So, how are my items? I used half of my antidotes. So I'm not going to buy anything else. I'm just going to buy more healing items for this place, so that I don't feel as bad about getting the shit kicked out of me. This is going to be how it works from now on. We're going to use as many potions as possible before we start using spell slots. I'm going to buy one soft. I don't remember if anything in this dungeon can petrify, but I'm not going to take that chance. So I'm just going to buy a shit ton of potions, and I will see you back at the Marsh Cave. One thing that I forgot to do. Remember when I said you can only carry 4 weapons per character? Well, whenever you're in town, sell anything that you don't use. Like this large knife and the short sword that we found. Wait a minute, the short sword is worth more than the saber? Is it stronger? Let me check. See, attack 27. This is how you check if a weapon is stronger, by the way. First you have to go to status, because the other menus that told you weren't implemented in the series yet. Go to status, you look at your attack, it's 27 right now. Go to weapon, you equip the new one, then check your status again. 29. Oh. So that short sword is better. Okay. Then I'll sell the saber. Okay. Alright. Now I will see you back at the Marsh Cave. You see this shit? All of my characters are paralyzed. No one can do anything until I wait for a random chance to free me from its grasp. And then only Shamura is freed. Freaking ghasts. By the way, I may have made a mistake earlier, I don't remember what I said. It's ghouls that can't paralyze elves. Ghasts can paralyze anyone. I remember that because Order of the Stick, I made a very quick joke about it. Which is another one of my favorite webcomics of all time, by the way. It's all about D&D. So if you haven't read it and you love D&D, then you'll love Order of the Stick. Anyway, I finally managed to make it back to the Marsh Cave without using any spell slots. So I'm going to use a cabin and save. So now we should have a much easier time. Okay, here we go. Now we take the southern route. I think there's a room over here with a chest. Shadows aren't that hard. And blind wears off after the battle anyway. It's obvious, I mean it kind of is, but I should probably explain what blind is and what it does. In pretty much every game ever made, blind reduces your accuracy. It makes it so that you hit things less. Although, its execution in D&D is kind of, well, it's really, really iffy. Oh, no, it's a dead end. Good. Good, I love finding dead ends. Its execution in D&D is kind of iffy. And I'm actually gonna run away from these things because I don't want to waste BOLT2 on them. They're weak enemies, they don't give much experience, at least not enough for me to care. Anyway, like I was saying, blind in D&D, if a character is blinded in D&D, all that restricts them is the rules of blind, which basically says that they cannot perceive their surroundings. Usually though, people don't exactly take that to heart. They'll either overplay it and make it so that their character is completely worthless, or they'll make it so that their character can literally do everything that the rules don't say they can't do. So it's like the DM needs to have a lot of personal input on what a blind character can and can't do, because the rules can't cover every single situation. I mean, they probably could. The angry GM could probably come up with a way. The angry GM is an amazing fucking human being, by the way, and if you haven't read his blog, I'll post a link to it. Because the angry GM is never wrong. Everyone else is objectionably wrong. Good, just what I needed. More enemies that can cause stun over and over again. Leaving my mages to do all of the melee work. Leaving my mage to do all the melee work. At least they're weak. At least everything that can cause paralysis is super weak. God damn. Are you serious? Why hasn't paralysis worn off of Dunor's Ash yet? Oh my god. As far as I know, there's nothing in this game that can cure paralysis. That's just a thing you gotta deal with. Oh my god. Finally. God damn it. At least those things are worth a lot of money. Okay, is the encounter rate higher than I remember? Probably not. But encounters go way faster in the remake. In fact, everything about the remake is easier. It's super easy to get max money. Really easy to get to max level. Which I never talked about. Max level in this game is only 50. In most Final Fantasies it's 99 or 100, but max level in this game is just 50. And endgame level is around 30-ish. Which is a bit lower than it is in most JRPGs. In most JRPGs, endgame level was 40. Troll game. Anyway, I know where I'm going. You had to come down here. Really? Okay. You see this long, wavy line of pillars? You have to come down in order to go under it and go around. Don't poison the fuck. Now I have to fight them because of the rule with the bug with one of the bottom two party members has a status effect. You can't run. I suppose I could try to cure him, but it might put me in an endless loop of trying to cure poison if they keep applying it. So I'm just gonna try and kill them. It'll take a while. You know, maybe it would be worth getting a single target elemental spell just for these things. Because this isn't going to be the last we see of them. This isn't the only dungeon slimes will appear in. As brutal as this place is, it really is still kind of a tutorial dungeon. As crazy as that sounds. But it's the last major challenge we have to overcome, other than the next boss, before we are free of the sea. Oh good, more poison. Good thing I bought plenty of antidotes. I'm not saying that the remakes improved everything. I mean, they really did kind of make the game super easy. But if you want to play a graphically enhanced version of this game that keeps spell slots and all that stuff, play the PS1 version. PS1 version has all the new graphics and music and stuff. None of the new bonus dungeons, but gameplay wise it's identical to the original, but without all of the bugs. Plus there's like a gallery that you can unlock. And it's on the same disc as the remake of Final Fantasy II, so if you're interested in 2, then you can play it on the same disc. I don't want to talk about 2 right now. Maybe later. Yeah, I got tons of cure potions now. So many that I have no reason not to use them over magic. Alright, here we are. This is the last floor. It's enormous, but this is the last floor. We could search every room, getting all the treasure, and we probably will. Or we could just go straight to the room with the crown and get out. But I've yet to use a spell slot. I'm good. So, thank you so very much for watching. I apologize if this is kind of a boring episode, but it is the first dungeon. It's really brutal. There's a lot of running back to town and stuff. I mean, the only reason I'm able to get this far with only one trip back to town is because I prepared for it. I knew what was coming. You don't have to do all of that guild farming, that 3 hours of guild farming that I did in order to tackle this dungeon. It's just gonna be a lot harder. And why make things harder for yourself when you can just be patient, take some time and prepare, right? That's the nature of JRPGs. I mean, this game was really trying to copy the feeling of D&D. It got some things wrong, like tents and cottages having one-time uses and being things that you just carry on your back all the time. And it also tried to implement like an encumbrance system without keeping track of weight. Yeah, but I'm getting into a whole new topic. I'm trying to finish this video. Anyway, thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.